Good morning, folks. Today I got a sample from Barbus, and it's the shaving cream. This one here is a sport flavor. As you can already tell, I scooped out a little bit. Got it whipped up here in a small wooden bowl here. That's what it looks like there on the inside. Does still whip up a little bit on the, how can you say, white side. The shaving cream itself is, I think you call that it's a green, but it may have a blue tint to it. Just depends, I guess, how you look at it. It's more green than blue. But anyhow, I've got it whipped up here with this is a Vulfix Super Badger knot. This particular handle, the shape is still is available in the fake ivory or white. But this one here, the turtle shell color, it may be pretty hard to find. I didn't realize at the time. I got this one here by the way of the Superior Shave, and I didn't realize that, I knew he was closing them out, but I didn't realize that this particular handle scheme was going to be hard to find nowadays, because most of them that I decided to buy when they were on clearance was this kind of turtle looking shell handle. But I had some fun this morning. I spent some time whipping the lather up, and like like the name says, it has a sport scent. I didn't have a matching aftershave that matches exactly to it, but I got one that comes pretty close, and I got this one here that's active. Like I say, it's not an exact match by any means, but it'll come pretty close. They'll play well together. And I've already put the hot towel to the face for the pre-shave routine, as well as Proraso pre-shave cream here. And the next video I'll be using something different. I'm looking over here because that's where Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements pre-shave cube I've gotten. I'm probably going to go to it since it's already open and ready to go. And it's got some use to it, but it's the one that's got some menthol to it. But that, if you can tell right through there, that is all I've got left of the pre-shave. So it'll be time to switch up to something new because I'm going to run out of this one here. And as it goes for blade of the day, it's going to be at 7 o'clock. This one here is the Super Platinum. Get all these words spit out this early in the morning. Shaver of the day, go right along with the theme of Gillette. This is, I've had my eye on one of these for quite some time, and everything just came together where I picked up this one here. This is a Gillette Knack. It's a twist to open. And the link I have down below, if you want to check this out, I found one at Razor Emporium. At least it was still available when I looked at it. Maybe nobody's bought it just yet, but you can take a peek at it at Razor Emporium, one that looks just like this one here. And I also got the twist, and that one there is comes from, it's made in England. Also picked up, in other words, I found both of them at the same time, so I picked them both up, and thought I'd give them a try, see how they work out. The twist looks very similar to this, but it is different. Matter of fact, that whole thing is, I've got another razor that looks very close to it. Anyhow, like I say, I already put the pre-shave cream to the face this morning. I got 2 days worth of growth, and see how all this works out this morning. Weather, I tell you what, weather has been quite interesting. High yesterday was near 80, or was 80. It might have got up to 81. High today is supposed to be 78, and then the last time I checked on Wednesday, I think the high is supposed to be 49 or something like that. I'll have to check it again, see if it's changed any. But we're supposed to be getting some rain, in other words. But when the weather's like this, it does play havoc with my head, sinus pressure and whatnot. I did notice this morning before I got started that there's as much as I try with the busy schedule, I'm going to try to watch a few videos. Uncle L's got one with removing a knot from a shaving brush with a Dremel tool, and that'll be an interesting watch. And I think if some of these videos, depending on how much time you have, sometimes it's kind of hard to watch all of it. I think his video is only about 16 minutes long. So in other words, it's not, an hour and a half long or anything quite like that. So it could be an interesting watch. And anyhow, I think there's going to be some interesting videos. You probably ought to check your subscriptions, if you will, what you subscribe to. I'll try to remember to get some of these links down below for them. I think that ought to be interesting watching. Going pretty smooth so far. 2 days worth of growth. I think this particular shaver, in other words, once you find the blade that works best for you, I think you'll enjoy the shave. It's not aggressive by any means, but it's not, I wouldn't consider it, it might be considered on the mild side, but it's on the upper end of mild. Some might consider it on the medium side. There's a little bit of a blade feel, but nothing overwhelming by any means. In other words, I think some folks should be able to get a pretty decent shave with it. In other words, smooth, comfortable. If you got decent technique, I don't think you'll end up with a bunch of weepers and whatnot. You got it married up to a blade that works well for you. I have got, if you're kind of new to watching the videos, and depends on which one you you watch, if I mentioned it, the right through there on each side, there's about a half a dozen whiskers up in there. So every once in a while I gotta get up in there and knock them down. Most of my hair, as you can tell, the whiskers are kind of gray, so they may be kind of hard to see, but I know that they're there. Pretty good reduction there. I mean, it still needs a second pass. So in other words, for somebody that has sensitive skin, this might be a pretty good razor for you. I was pretty lucky when I picked this one up. I think I picked it up for 20 bucks, and I think the twist was even cheaper than that, and both of them are in pretty good shape. I think it ended up being like $23 or $24 shipped, I think. I can't remember for sure. You know, by the time you finally get it, and my memory is a little bit fuzzy, and I've looked at a lot of numbers. Been looking at the going price on various slims and fat boys. You can kind of tell this handle is a little on the lengthy side if you're used to the short ones. I didn't measure it or get any measurements on the length, but it's probably all of 4 inches and then some. Of course, with the handle being plastic, all the weight is in the head or towards the head. It doesn't bother me any, but it could bother some folks. Handle is pretty easy to hang on to, even with a little bit of soap on the hands and a little wet. It seems to work out pretty good. Across the grain pass, I can still feel the blade. In other words, it didn't, how can you say, disappear after the first pass with a reduction of the beard. Second pass, I got just a little bit right through here. So in other words, if I wanted to shorten the shave up and change my strokes on my second pass across the grain, I could probably make do with a 2-pass shave. So in other words, as it goes for efficiency, I would have to say, yeah, it's pretty efficient. The 2-pass, if you can get a 2-pass shave done and get very close to BPS with a 2-pass shave, I would consider that pretty efficient, at least in my books, and not have that overly aggressive blade feel. For somebody starting out, that would be a little scary for them, have all that blade feel. And this one here does. You can feel the whiskers, you know, the blade cutting through the whiskers, but the blade feels just a little bit, nothing major. Just enough to let you know that it's there. I've tried smelling the shaving cream, you know, from the container, trying to figure out what because sport and active, what is the difference in between the two scents? There is a difference. I just can't quite put my finger on what the difference is, but there is a difference between the two scents. Maybe one of these days the light bulb will come on and I'll be able to put my finger on what the difference is in between the two. A little bit of feedback on the against screen pass. This handle, even though I do have the tendency to gravitate to short handles, this one here, it seems to work out well with the weight being mainly from this point forward. I think this length of handle was the best choice. I don't know that a shorter handle you'd get the same, I guess you might say, maneuverability out of it. And of course, for those that's got bigger hands, you might need or want that extra space there. Pretty nice shave. It's definitely, I like it. It fits in the super speed category. For those that, in other words, like I say, if you got a bigger hand and maybe that handle on a super speed is just a little too small for your liking, this shaver here just might be what you're looking for. Thing is I don't, over time, it seems like, like a lot of things, they kind of work in cycles. I've seen more of these shavers here recently than, let's say, over the past maybe 12 months. I haven't seen a whole lot of them for sale. And then here late, I've seen quite a few of them. And that kind of sparked the, maybe I should go ahead and pick one up now, because I didn't even have one. And I've always wondered how they shaved. I mean, I've seen I think it's Rusty has one. I think Rusty's got one, and I think Tim has one. I've seen, in other words, some folks shaving with them before, and they seem to get pretty good shaves with them. So post-shave feel pretty nice. Face doesn't feel dried out. Matter of fact, feels pretty moisturized, and I don't even think there's going to be any stinging this morning. Now, as it goes for the blade itself, there's a number of blades I think that'll work quite well with this one here. The 7 o'clock Platinum, in comparison to other, let's say for instance, Platinum blades, I think there's some others that will work just fine with it, just from my experience, that if you're kind of wondering what might be good comparisons or good blades to use. It just really also depends on your skin type or whatnot, but I think this particular shaver will do well with a number of different blades. If you're kind of wondering, that's what the restrictor looks like. Very nice shave. Well, I don't know if it depends on what video you watch. Had to scrape a really good one right up here. It's finally healed up for the most part. I'm forever bumping my head on something, so there's always a scratch, a scrape somewhere, a bump, a knot. Always hitting my head on something. So it's always good to put something on my head, huh? This one here, I'm not sure. I can't remember for sure if this one here is still available or not. Oh, the container. I guess you might see design. To me, that's important. Yeah, it's important what's inside the container, but if your container doesn't keep what's inside, yeah, it's not going to be too much fun. That is what the cap looks like on the inside. So you can kind of see that it kind of goes down into a little bit of the restrictor there, and it helps keep things sealed up, all the goodness inside there. To me, that's important. Like I say, doesn't do a whole lot of good to have a container. Doesn't keep the good stuff inside when you want it inside. I wish I could pinpoint what the big difference is in between the scent of the Sport versus the Active. There is a difference. I mean, just, I'm wanting to say one has One has more of an aqua scent to it, maybe. I can't say for sure. My nose, is not the most dependable by any means. But I do like this container as it goes for it. I think I got shaving aftershave all over. The black, I think looks pretty cool. You don't see very many of this color, and it kind of gives you that uniqueness about it, I guess you might say. And that's how it's shaved, if it matters to anybody. For me, it's pretty easy to hang on to. So you can grab a hold of that lid and bottle and open it with soapy hands. Show you what the rest of it looks like real quick. Knob right here, and it just, yeah, it goes everywhere. And there we go. That's what it looks like there on the inside. It's a fine shaver. I'm glad I picked it up, and this one here is in great shape. And I think the way I looked at it at Razor Emporium looked pretty good too. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay healthy, stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.